Testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing.
You could ask me some math notes from last week.
Testing, 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 testing.
Yep. Cool.
Dandenong.
Even both games.
Yeah. Side Stadium. So watch the battle between United and
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
Pierce Clark. Number 4, Corey Sewell. Number 5, Jack Webster. Number 6, Harry Ashcroft. Number 7, Brad Plant. Number 8, Jamie Latham. Number 9, Alexander Guy. Number 13, Valley Chesnick. Number 15, Gaku Inaba. Number 17, Danny Kim. And number 23, Will Bauer. On the bench for Dandenong City, number 3, Jack Perate-Cullen. Number 21, Matthew Yofgu. Number 25, George Lambert-Arides. Number 30, Malik Abusfa. And number 31, Matthew Murren. The starting lineup for Heidelberg United: Alexander in goals. Number 1, Yaron Souza. Number 2, Carl O'Sullivan. Number 3, Benjamin Collins. Number 4, Ryan Lethlean. Number 6, Anthony Lesiotis. Number 7, Fletcher Fulton. Number 8, Marcus Humbert. Number 10, Asahi Yokakawa. Number 15, Chok Dow. Making his starting debut here, number 16, Nicholas Duarte. And number 19, Joseph Lee. Starting on the bench for Heidelberg United, number 9, Kieran Bramwell. Number 11, Angus Taylor. Number 17, Jay McGowan. Number 18, Anthony Theo. Number 21, Ethan Sardellis. And number 22, Ashton Bonsall. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to welcome both teams and match officials to the field of play as we near kick-off. 7:30 start here at the Olympic Village. Enjoy the game.
Week 3 of the men's Senol National Premier League Victoria 2026 season begins at the home of last year's champions. 166 days have passed since these sides previously met in last year's grand final, where more than 10,000 football fans from around the state had submerged Lakeside Stadium to watch the battle between United and City. Fast forward to the new year, and although it may be early days, a point deduction for Dandenong City and 2 wins on the bounce for Heidelberg United sees both sides situated at opposite ends of the table. It's no assumption that there is no love lost between these two sides, live from Olympic Village. It's the 2025 National Premier League Victoria Grand Final replay between champions Heidelberg United and runners-up Dandenong City Soccer Club. My name is Adam Palombi. It's an absolute pleasure to be reporting live from the heart of Heidelberg here on this subdued Friday night. From the Gowntry, James Worth alongside us this evening. James, it's quite the occasion we find ourselves here at.
Yeah, what a great night to be involved, especially being around Olympic Village for such a special occasion. The replay of a grand final that was one of the most incredible spectacles that Victorian football has seen in quite a while. Lakeside Stadium for a very neutral game, getting 10,000 fans into that. It was a culmination of colour, flair, and probably the finest bit of football that we've seen in quite a while. So very excited to be joining you, Adam, tonight, and hopefully we'll be seeing another classic.
We have a glimpse at how Nick Tolios has arranged his players for this evening. The 2 changes, with Pierce Clark re-emerging as the goalkeeper. Corey Sewell and Valley Cesnick are the fullbacks. Jack Webster and Gaku Inaba are the centre-back partnership. Harry Ashcroft makes his debut following his arrival from Hume City Football Club. He'll be the central defensive midfielder this evening. Jamie Latham and Danny Kim join him in the engine room. Brad Plant, Will Bauer and Alexander Guy are in attack. As for Johnny Anastasiadis' side, only the one change to speak of. Yaron Souza is the goalkeeper. Carlo Sullivan, Fletcher Fulton line up along the fullback positions. Benjamin Collins and Ryan Lethlean extend their centre-back partnership into the new season. Anthony Lesiotis, Max Humbert, Asai Yokokawa are in the midfield. New signing Joseph Lee joins Nicholas Durate, who replaces Kieran Bramwell as the striker, with Chok Dow completing the attacking trio. Predictions early on for this evening, James?
I think that going into this game, Heidelberg on top of the table with 2 wins, 2 fantastic wins, a really gritty win last week as well against Dandenong Thunder. I think they take that momentum into this game. I think they win 3-1.
Of course, in that grand final all those days ago, it was a 2-1 victory to the Burgers. Max Bassetto was the best on ground on that occasion. He's still battling a shoulder injury. Young players had some success in the National Premier League Victoria competition, formerly of Oakley as well, vying hard to get back into the side. Not featuring on the bench this evening. Ashton Bonsall is the understudy goalkeeper to Yaron Souza, Ethan Sardellis, Akil Raffi, Anthony Theodoropoulos, Kieran Brumwell and Jay McGowan make up the bench for Heidelberg. As for City, Matthew Marum, although having started in both weeks prior, resides to the bench. Jack Perrick-Cullen, George Lambaridis, Timothy Atharinos, the goal scorer for City on that day 166 days ago. Not selected, but I'm sure if brought onto the playing surface will continue his goal-scoring prowess early in the season. Your match officials, of course, Lucas Mattia is the person in charge. Nicoletta Sotiropoulos joins Jackson Charles Landy as the assistants, and Yanni Malidis is the 4th official. The pitch, although the rain has started and stopped, James, held up nicely.
Yeah, it was lovely on foot. To touch, it was the best condition it can be. I mean, Heidelberg do a fantastic job at maintaining this pitch, and the only thing that will go on this pitch and add a bit more character and a bit more to the narrative will be if the ball skids, and it will test both goalkeepers, whether strikers and attackers alike. Go forward and try hit the ball on a half volley, try get a half tracker in to the back of the net. But overall, it's held up really well.
The OFC Pro League was at Olympic Village last Sunday. Over that weekend, of course, hosting all the sides in that competition. It's held up rather well, but in the weeks to follow, we'll have to undergo some conditioning. Heidelberg start their away leg. In fact, it's a trio of away games for Heidelberg following tonight's outing under the lights. Heidelberg winning what was their first title in more than 7 years, their 6th in their overall history. And they'll crown champions of the 2025 season. Dandy City went on some journey, James. They finished in 6th place, defeated Archtown rivals Dandy Thunder, and then also toppling Premiers Avondale in the semi-final to book their spot in the big dance.
Yeah, I think it was a real case of just hitting your form at the exact right time in that. They timed it perfectly. That game against Dandenong Thunder was an absolute classic. You can't get more heated rivalries than that.
Heidelberg have had their fair share of rivalries. They always seem to be week in, week out, I suppose, where, according to Yaron Souza, teams have come to play. Meanwhile, advancing early, Lesiotis inside the box. Chip ball looking for that of Joseph Lee. City succumbing to some early pressure. Collins receives a... Well, sure he didn't intend for the ball to come to him at such pace. The captain goes out to touch. City in recent weeks, you're mentioning off-air, James, have been slow starters perhaps.
Yeah, I think they really struggled last week with Melbourne City's momentum and the way that they drove the game. One big thing that I took from that is that they just sort of allowed Melbourne City to have control of the game early on, and it was a real struggle to try to get that control back. And yes, they did manage themselves a goal and take it to 3-1, but there was just no momentum that could have picked them back up to try get it back to 3-2, it felt.
Early signs, although Brad Plants will keep Fletcher Fulton pretty honest on that right flank.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one for Dandenong City. Their shape was one thing that I took note from last week that got them undone, and it's going to be something they've got to work really hard to not let Johnny A's boys get on top of, because if you lose your shape against a team like Heidelberg United, you will start to fall off very early.
Lesiotis finds Lee, trying to around his marker. Corey Sewell to have his work cut out for him this evening. Former New Zealand under-23 national representative. Max Humbert jostles across to take the first corner of the night.
Going to be interesting to see what type of positioning Dandenong City provide here. We do know that they were weak against corners against Melbourne City. Liam Bonatig taking control of Jamie Webster.
Humbert's delivery doesn't find nobody at the first, or front post rather. Clearance was necessary from Dandy City. It's exactly what they've done. Well, we've seen Yaron Souza in recent seasons enjoy the ball at his feet. Earned an assist last season, round 5 against Dandy Thunder. Away from home, he was practically a playmaker at one stage. He was so advanced inside his own defensive half. As Yoka Kawa advancing, chocked out. Cross comes in, poised for Durate. Humbert arriving inside the box. O'Sullivan's had a bright start to this game. He's threads it forward for Humbert. Lee's cross. Okakawa arriving. Heidelberg finding rhythm early. Fulton under some duress. Dow. City happy to find possession. Sesnick to a confined space, and it will be at the visitor's throw.
Good early signs here from Heidelberg. Their shape in entering that 18-yard box has been really impressive, really trying to utilise that right wing, try to expose the left back. As you know, Corey Sewell's got his work cut out for him today, and it won't be easy.
Inaba. For Jack Webster. And he made his first appearance match day 2 for Dandy City. Hadn't featured against Dynamo. Certainly hadn't started, nor had Piers Clark. Iniba over the top. Corey Sewell advancing. Collins with a glance towards the fullback. Collins had the option of Souza, although it will be the goalkeeper's ball.
I think a real emphasis on energy here from Dandenong City, trying to even just force a goal kick, trying to provide some sort of energy. It does really play back into the strong start attitude that they need to have for this game. They will be under pressure, as we spoke about off air, that they will need to try and get a bit of momentum early if they want some involvement in this game.
Sullivan's pass went to Frey, and Iniba advanced. He's pushing high up the centre back. Sewell will recycle with Clark. Webster launching long and rather aimless, the captain. Just touching on both sides' keys to victory this evening. From your analysis, James, how do you read this one?
3 key points from each side that I took from last week. Heidelberg just need to start strong, really provide some attacking flair. They were really good from a barrage of Dandenong Thunder cross balls and attacking. Yaron Souza did fantastic in that, and really trying to give the wingers the ball, expose the flanks and the fullbacks of Dandenong City. We know that they came under a lot of duresses. A foul has been called
on Ashcroft. The debutant was passive, and Lesiotis was firmly on the press. The central midfielder earns the foul. Intriguing, the matchup in the midfield tonight from both sides, considering how the likes of Ashcroft have been deployed as a defensive midfielder. Lesiotis, the playmaker. Yokakawa and Humbert, although box-to-box, tend to attack a lot more than what your usual midfielders would, in a more traditional aspect, of course. Intriguing to see how each trio conspire something, as Lee Fancied it. And well, if it's inviting, why not have a hit?
Saw his name in lights, as some would say. Nothing wrong with that to start it off early. Get one on the stat sheet, but speaking of Anthony Lesiotis, the one thing that I think Dandenong City need to do is shut him down. It's one of those big ones that you give him an inch and he'll take a mile. It's a very, very key aspect to Heidelberg's game to play through the middle, to play through that corridor, and if we're able to suppress him with Harry Ashcroft, I think it's a perfect matchup for them to really try shut him down.
Clark finds Plant on the right flank for City. Xander Guy wants to go quickly. Lesiotis wins the ball back. Sesnick can find space, finds Danny Kim. You're noticing early on the visitors are perhaps able to get out the tight press and recycle possession. I'm sure Nick Tolios would have a smile on his face seeing it go to plan time and time again. Considering how Johnny Anastasiadis likes to play his football, it's all about ball speed. Collins, Lesiotis, Humbert, chesting on for O'Sullivan. How a semi-professional club in season 2025 played more than 45 competitive matches. Goes beyond imagination. Such a long year it was for Heidelberg. Trials and tribulations. An infamous run in the Australia Cup will touch on at the moment. It's Xander Guy. He's on the edge of the area. Off his left foot, deflecting ball. Off of Collins. Souza completely suspended. A major opportunity for Dandy City.
Really good there by Xander Guy, taking on the defenders, trying to play that true number 9 and not trying to play through his rings and backing himself. Even though the shot was going wayward, it's taken a lucky deflection and in for Dandenong City's first set piece of the night. Xander Guy on the score sheet last week, disappointing 4-2 loss against Melbourne City. I think the ball speed that you were talking about from Johnny A is very similar to the way that Melbourne City were playing, so not too much to change here for Nick Tolios.
Latham's cross. He's outside the area. Iniba trying to scoot around the likes of Durate. Lucas Mattia has called for a foul, and Dandy City are in some promising position here.
It's a welcomed free kick for Dandy City. Now we'll see what they're like on the left-hand side of the pitch. Are they off with a right footer instead of a left? And to see if they're improved from last week, going into set pieces on goal rather than defending them. They did struggle a little bit. Obviously Melbourne City having quite a few tall defenders and tall players, Liam Bonatic being one of them, causing Jack Webster a lot of havoc last week, but it's a new day and a new team.
Latham placed behind the free kick. Webster getting right inside the 6-yard box. Chance for City. Latham's delivery. Lethlean had to head away from Souza. The move's still alive. Kim. Sesnick crosses in with shape. Webster, the target. Out comes Souza. Clearing. O'Sullivan. Swall sends it up and under. Choctaw goes for a climb on the ladder, which Danny Kim presented. Fulton wasn't sure where the ball had gone. Ashcroft. Webster couldn't flick on with his head. Centre back on the right flank position. Lesiotis for Dow. Heidelberg evade the pressure through a foul earned by Anthony Lesiotis.
Lesiotis, the architect, the playmaker, the maestro. There's a million names you could call him in that dictionary, but composure is one of his biggest strengths, and being able to draw a foul that was well needed to absorb a little bit of pressure, unleash the pressure cooker just a touch, because Dandenong City are trying to play that key leader role in the first 15 minutes of this game, and they're doing really well.
Fulton, first time, looking for Dow. Webster, no nonsense from the Englishman.
Do see a little bit of lightning to the left of broadcast. Fingers crossed it doesn't edge closer to Olympic Village. We don't want to see any more delays like we did last week. But so far, the rain's holding off and everything seems to be okay.
Fulton. Reverse pass for Yokokawa. On the topic of weather, it has been quite tumultuous this recent week across Victoria. The Oceania professional leagues not enjoying all the rain and delays they've had to experience also. It's honest for all comers. Hopefully, like you mentioned, James, none of that here tonight. As Lesiotis, on the edge of the area, strikes it. Webster blocks it. Latham happy to clear. The hosts will now look to settle in possession. Lethlean and scored Heidelberg's only goal in the Australia Cup final. What a run it was from the Burgers as Xander Guy will put pressure on Lesiotis. A bit too much on the pass back towards him. So composed, the midfielder. Lethlean for Dow. Lateral ball, skipping. Lee now looking to carve through Dandy City. Humbert looking for the cutback, and Heidelberg manufacture their second corner.
Really, really good from Heidelberg United here. Utilising those wings, as we do know that we've touched on Corey Sewell on that, playing that left back position. Has his work cut out. They're utilising, even the fullbacks are playing high. Johnny A's men not afraid to overlap because they know they can get back. They do have the fitness.
Choctaw behind the corner. Cross comes in towards the near post. Humbert meets it with his head. Clark wasn't sure. His assurance was to parry it out for another corner. City's early scaries perhaps also looking to rear their ugly head out yet again. It's something which I'm sure Nick Tolios would be grinding his teeth at. Another corner to defend. Choctaw. Very high ball inside the area. Collins greets it. Into the mixer. Lethlean. Edge of the area. Lee lurking around the ball. As Cessnick looks to perhaps open a quick counter for City. Ball to be won. And Bauer is certainly trying to make a contest with Collins, who went to ground.
Dandy City trying everything they can to just almost stop this Heidelberg press. It was one thing that, did bring them undone last week, and Nick Tolios would not be happy at all to see the same mistakes repeating themselves again. They do need to get on top of this little bogey that they've got that's just over their head. These slow starts and allowing attacking runs.
Swole. Iniba back to Clark. Happy to clear. O'Sullivan controls the Irishman. Lesiotis will find Souza. The opening 17 minutes, much like the conditions at Olympic Village, rather subdued. Both sides gaining a decent gauge of each other. Heidelberg with a trio of corners. City with the two dead ball opportunities, a corner and a free kick. Otherwise, there's not an awful lot occurring at the moment. Durate, on loan from Central Coast Mariners. Had set Olympic Village alive on his debut. Coming off the bench to score against Green Gully. Yokokawa. Dow. Crossing, looking for Durate. Lesiotis. Ashcroft not able to clear. Bauer flicking on. Lesiotis now for Heidelberg. Yokokawa trying to go the intricate route. And Dandy City can now just tuck in the gloves and take a much needed breather.
Dandenong City right now really just need to work the space, work the field that they've got. Football, you do have a big pitch. It might be very, very silly to say, but utilise it. Don't play through the corridors. Go through your wings. Try and expose, maybe get a counter-attack. Do something that might be a little bit more creative.
Getting creative. As Brad
Spoke too
Plant,
soon.
who's done really well there on his right flank. Low ball crossed in. Latham, edge of the area, gets his shot away. And right on cue, you mentioned creativity, James, and it was in abundance from Dandy City's number 7 of Brad Plant.
Xander Guy looking for the ball there, wondering where the pass was to move forward. There could quite possibly have been a pass into a shot there, but Heidelberg will welcome a skied ball into a goal kick. So they're allowed to reset now, compose themselves, and they can go again.
And the shot, of course, he had some time. Latham, he might have had more than he bargained for.
Yeah, it's interesting with a lot of these defences. It's more times than other. If they're outside the box, it's almost like you welcome a shot. Take on the man that might be there for the through ball. Welcome the shot that might be on a bit of a tough angle for the player. Might be on his opposite foot than what he's used to. Test him a little bit. Yaron Sosa's in the sticks. You trust your keeper every day of the week, especially with Yaron in between the sticks. So very smart play there from Heidelberg to allow a shot and regain a little bit of composure, because at the moment they do want to just suss out what Dandenong City have to offer. And at the moment they seem to be pretty under control in quite a lot of what Dandy City have to offer.
Dow, central. Lee. Shifting onto his left, cross comes in. Yaku Inaba has to head over his own crossbar. Insert the Alexander fans. Are content with their start. Another corner. Humbert jostling to take. Humbert awaits the movement inside the area. The cross comes in. Left lean was at the near posts. Heidelberg protesting for a penalty. Handball jeers ringing out towards Lucas Mattia, who remained unfazed.
Bit of a sigh of relief from Dandy City there. A lot of pressure being put on them early on, and right now they almost just need to find some form of composure. Otherwise, I don't know what sort of conversation Nick Tolos will be having with his 11 men at half-time, but right now you need to gain a little bit of composure. Try find something good. Try find the silver lining amongst the rubble, but right now it's all Heidelberg United who have all the answers to everything Dandenong City are trying to provide, as Pierce Clark's urging his men forward. As now referees asked him to move on, as we do know there is a new rule in the NPL Victoria that the referees can ask to move on after a certain amount of time, and indirect free kick can be given as well as a caution. So really trying to avoid time wasting here. Other referees doing a great job at that.
Perhaps a bit premature for time wasting, if that's the idea from Pierce Clark. Perhaps looking for his side to regain some of their momentum when in possession. Humbert flicks to his own advantage. Volleys his cross in towards Corey Sewell, who plants his feet to head away. O'Sullivan's been bright. Trying to step around Corey Sewell. O'Sullivan's cross comes in. Webster has to head away. Fulton wanted Yokokawa. Latham had the clearance. Left lead. Chipping ball. Yokokawa. Flag stays down for Heidelberg. Pass intercepted by Danny Kim, but it's yet another corner for the Burgers.
Seems like Dandy City are almost content with just giving away corner kicks, trying to rely on their defence to get them out, because it doesn't look like they've got many answers thus far. Really trying to rely on those centre-backs to get those balls out, and as you see, Anthony Lesiotis outside the 18-yard box. Would not be surprised if it's recycled.
Humbert's delivery had shape on it. Head of the way by Kim. Fulton. Pierce Clark kept honest as Durate is looking to put a ticket into the raffle. On the topic of Dandy City, what a rise it's been for the club based out in the southeast. It's now their third season up in the top flight. Their way getting back up to, and of course the highest National Premier League division was quite the story in its own right. Frank Holohan Soccer Complex, quite the destination for those out in that part of town. Some great football's been played there in recent years. How fortunate National Premier League Victoria fans are to have an all Dandenong derby mixed throughout the competition. Dow has time to dispatch a shot. Chock Dow. Pierce Clark, comfortable height and placement for the keeper to have the ball nestled within his chest.
Just trying to test the keeper, I think, there. I think it was pretty obvious that Chock Dow was almost looking for a ball into the 18-yard box to try find one of his fellow team members' heads, but just keeping the keeper on his toes, making sure he knows he's aware that he's there. Doesn't go astray, because sometimes that crazy things happen, and as we've seen in the recent weeks, that we've had some absolute screamers around the league and around Australia as well.
On the topic of Pierce Clark, he was formerly of Dandy Thunder. How it only adds a layer to that rivalry. As Souza, Collins, first time pass for Lesiotis. Lee. Fluency about this Heidelberg move as O'Sullivan provides an overlap. Wants to go around Corey Swall. He's defended well there. His physicality was fair.
Big green tick for that defensive effort. Nothing really in it to warrant a free kick, but as you do, Heidelberg absolutely will ask for it. And now they just reset, try to find a pack, to try get ahead on it, to try maybe get a counter-attack, try to get something fast-breaking.
Zendagai was, I'm sure, the target of Pierce Clark as Lesiotis had the ball stuck at his foot. Durate now provide chase. Iniba went up and over with the clearance. Ball to be won right inside the central circle. Lesiotis striding forward. Fulton has Chock down the lateral area. Ashcroft jockeys the space well. Latham. Ashcroft under immediate pressure. His pass for Cessnick, much the same as Fulton, advances inside the box. Low driven ball, nobody home. In fact, it was Brad Plant who was looking at Ashcroft to say, why am I getting the ball here? Meanwhile, Humbert. Yokokawa. On the edge of the area, Fulton. Dow. Heidelberg getting wider and wider as City tuck further and further defensively deeper. Collins goes too much over the top, and Dandy City, I'm sure, would want to get out of this confined space and regain some territory. They've been under the pump for some time now.
You're spot on, Adam. They're really just trying to compress their defence, trying to not make themselves overexposed, and I think that's where they're going undone. As we saw in the last possession beforehand, that they don't have numbers forward. They're too reliant on their defence. They're too hesitant to move forward. The only real attacking option that they've got when they've got defensive pressure is Xander Guy, and he's not the type of person to take a 4-on-1 and be successful in it. So they do need some more attacking options if they are going to move forward after a defensive stop.
Possession exchanging hands. A fair amount in that passage. Nick Tolios giving some instruction to his more senior playing quartet. Ashcroft and Webster amongst the conversations. Cessnick goes down the line. Guy, heavy touch. Lesiotis comes away, down, not past Ashcroft. Without the foul being awarded.
Fair foul there given in favour of Heidelberg. Studs were shown. Very routine call there by the main man.
Nearing half an hour played at Olympic Village. Both sides yet to score. Last year's champions with some ascendancy, although it must be said, NT City have showed grit. Fulton, cross again, comes in. City able to repel time and time again, their character really being shown. Sliding was Plant. Ashcrofts not able to unleash out of Will Bauer, who was advancing forward. Now Lee skids around Swall on the edge of the area. A yellow card for the former Knight. That's not the place to commit a foul like so.
Dangerous set piece upcoming here for Heidelberg. Dandenong City it keeps almost having the same mistake over and over again. They're getting overexposed at the back and their hesitancy is getting them undone. As we just see on the replay there that a tug of the jersey, falling back, standard free kick. This is dangerous here for Heidelberg as they are quite well known for how successful their set pieces are, going into the box just outside from a penalty area as well. Pierce Clark will be very thankful that doesn't get pointed to the spot.
Down Humbert behind the free kick opportunity. Dow's lofted delivery. Open header onto the crossbar. Joseph Lee with the chance. Still for Heidelberg as Dow. Humbert's delivery towards the back post. Zantagai has to head away. Corner number 6 for the hosts. City starting to really feel the heat inside the kitchen. Dow delivers. Durate inside the area. Chance goes flashing. On the face of goal. It was Durate who had the final touch.
Really good set piece there from Heidelberg. Not putting all their chips into the main set piece, making sure they had men back there for if the play was recycled, and indeed it was, and it's got pushed back into the box. They had men there, and very, very unlucky to not see a goal.
And Corey Swall is a player who has an abundance of physicality and pace. Must be a testament to, of course, the flashiness of Joseph Lee. Corey Swall's really beaten for pace in a wide area. 28-year-old. Must be really up against it in that fullback position. At the moment, nothing really rolling Nick Tolios' way. It's no assumption to ponder the character of City. It's a fairy tale run which nearly had its fairy tale finish last year. Their performance at Avenger Park in that semi-final, flawless. Defence held up so well as Lee tries to jostle around Swall, takes a slip. Although the fullback was able to get up in time and try and get the ball away. Iniba has to clear. City, for the most part of it at the minute, hanging on. Ball in towards Durate. Real chance for Heidelberg. Clark comes off his line.
Pierce Clark just ever so hesitant there to come out of his box and attack the oncoming striker, and he's not happy about it, but he will be very thankful that it ended up in his hands for a goal kick, but I just think an ability not to go forward in that and made the attacking player one-on-one be intimidating. Pierce Clark's not a small person. He is very intimidating, and one-on-one, more likely than not, you do win that, especially just outside the box. But Dandenong City now really just need to try grasp anything they can. Just over 10 minutes to go in this first half. Still a lot of time to improve, still a lot of time to find a goal. It is still 0-0, despite the attacking prowess of Heidelberg.
Certainly still time to ruffle feathers at the opposite end as Swool. Danny Kim back towards Iniba. Webster. Webster. Ashcroft. No movement for the City number 6. Ashcroft looks as if he's gone directly towards his counterpart number 6 of Lesiotis. Perhaps a ploy from Tolios to prevent the playmaker from being damaging with the ball, as Webster has to put the afterburners on Durate in full pursuit. An on-cue Englishman with that proper no-nonsense approach. Clears out of play.
Some pundits might call that a Brexit clearance. No nonsense, and just trying to eliminate any risk in that, but credit to the man, he's done really well so far.
Yokokawa receives it back from Fulton. Lovely combination between the two. Low-driven ball across the face of goal. Inviting for Dow on a plate for Lee. He was just one step behind the move, but the danger not averted yet. It's Heidelberg's 7th corner. They're piling on the pressure.
They won't be disgruntled by a ball crossing the face of the goal and not going in.
Dow's take towards the near posts. O'Sullivan back for Dow. Crossing position. Lethlean Rose. His header not placed on target. And they're having so many opportunities from crossing positions, Heidelberg, so far. I'm sure Johnny Anastasiadis would want a end product on all these opportunities.
Yeah, it was really good there from Johnny A. What he was doing just in that set piece, making sure that Anthony Lesiotis was marking Brad Plant, had a ball come out for some form of counter-attack. He's a man of standards, and he's driving standards right from the back to the number 9, and not many managers would be doing that in such an attacking, offensive half, trying to demand that you get back and try to defend if by chance something goes completely wrong.
Heavy press from Zendegai upon Lesiotis, and Guy has won the ball. Trying to skip around Lesiotis. Guy's gone right in towards Fulton. Considering the tussle between Guy and Lesiotis, City earn the foul. The big man showcasing he's got dancing shoes. He moved with such agility, didn't he?
I don't mind the physicality at all. It's welcoming, and Anthony Lesiotis isn't the type of person to, while he might be a bit smaller in stature, to Alex Guy is not afraid to take on the challenge. Does almost seem like a David versus Goliath sort of matchup there, with Alex Guy's height and size behind him.
City have thrown every player forward as Latham went towards the back posts. Every player on the park had ventured into City's attacking end. Latham's cross was poised right in between the 6-yard and back post area. So inviting for the like of your tall timber of Ashcroft or Webster to find contact. As Webster, as advances on Yokokawa, Ashcroft and Webster come away with the ball. Inside Dandy City's attacking third. O'Sullivan has a spring in his step to prevent
Bauer from infiltrating. And now Humbert trying to find an opening for Heidelberg. Gives possession away. Swool with the composure. Danny Kim. The recycle for Sesnick. Latham back for Webster. City in the last 5 to 10 minutes have found some solace in possession. And you feel as if, James, this evening, they will be reliant upon free kick opportunities. If their previous play was an indication of how much emphasis they put on opportunities like so, every player had flung forward. It's quite the ominous sign from Nick Tolios, wanting to make the most of your set pieces. Webster, lovely touch from Plant. Shifting onto his left. Bauer on the diag. Cross comes in for Guy. Collins there to clear. Swool look towards Lucas Mattia, the official. Joseph Lee played the ball off Corey Swool last, and Heidelberg will have a throw-in.
It's a lot better ball movement there by Dandenong City, utilising both wings, going coast to coast. Because their two wingers do have the speed, they do have the tenacity to try get it over, and not being afraid to switch it unlocks a key part of your game and opens up Alex Guy as well.
Dandy City pressing as high as they have the entire half in the 40th minute. Souza. Collins. O'Sullivan. Not on the same wavelength as Joseph Lee. New players, new side, new country. In fact, for both Lee and O'Sullivan, chemistry always has time to not just improve but be built upon. It's the beauty of National Premier League's competition. How it attracts players from all parts of the world. Considering how Heidelberg enjoyed their tenure in the Australian Championship, how close Dandy City were to qualifying for the tournament. There's that added layer of really what's at stake in National Premier League football. Piers Clark wants his side to go forward. Webster will work it from his defensive third. Sesnick to scoot around Dow. Plant. Ashcroft. Iniba for Swool. First time pass. The momentum finds Bauer, although it rolls its curl out of play. Noticing a shift in formation, perhaps from Dandy City when they are in possession. Looking to try and nullify the threat of how Heidelberg line up with the ball, going nice and wide. Looks as if City are trying to compact the space.
Kind of just feels like bad habits repeating themselves again. It's not something that Dandy City want to rely on, more for the attacking power that Heidelberg United possess within those wings.
Webster nullifying the threat of Yokokawa. Fulton took the initial throw in. Yokokawa leaves it for Fulton. He throws it towards Yokokawa. Webster happy to clear. Now Guy jostled around left lane, and for a split second had himself, Ben Collins, and a paddock of space between Collins and Souza. Lee lofting for Durate. Webster, fine read. Xander Guy. Lesiotis, nimble.
and tidy towards Fulton. Question mark now looks towards the fourth official, Yanni Melides, for how much time will be added on. And it's very calculated opening half of football. Dow. Lesiotis with the diag. Swall heads away. Will Heidelberg push late in the dying embers of the half to break the deadlock? Or can Dandy City perhaps find an opportunity on the counter? You'd assume, James, there wouldn't be much out of time.
Not too many stoppages in this first half. Of course, we are goalless, as well as no medic having to be called out either.
Lee skips away from both Iniba and Swall, who's the only player in the book for the half. Guy does really well to open the space up for Latham. Souza commanded the space well, sweeping off his line, the keeper, Fulton. It's shallow for Souza. Heidelberg momentarily out of possession. Webster, fine win. Plants. Ashcroft gets enough on it for Plants. A late surge perhaps. Latham inside the area. Chance for City! And the visitors upon the cusp of half-time break the deadlock. Intricate play. And Jamie Latham off the post and in. And what a time to score.
What a well-earned goal there. Dandenong City will take all of that. It did start from the captain, and Jack Webster. It started from him on a whim, just over halfway as well. Intricate ball in there to Latham, and doing what he does best on his right, on a bit of an obscure angle as well. Hitting the side post and ricocheting back into the net, making that famous yellow and black net shaking its boots as the visitors take a 1-0 lead on the edge of half-time. As now it's going to be interesting to see what Nick Tolios does, whether he's just going to try and sit back and absorb the pressure or wants to go for two.
It's a fantastic finish from Latham. Souza with no chance of making a save. And perhaps, well, you think about how Johnny Anastasiadis would be heading into his halftime team talk. Heidelberg hadn't played poorly. Amassed many corners, had many chances with no end product. It's fantastic play from Brad Plant on his flank. And City have flipped the script here at Olympic Village, although there could be a very swift reply as Lee danced his way through. His effort kept lofting, and that'll be half-time. Well, what seemed to be quite the somber start to this match. The script torched. Dandy City enter the break with a 1-goal lead, courtesy of Jamie Latham, who scored inside additional time. Before we cross to half-time, James Worth, your analysis on that opening half of football.
Yeah, look, I think that Dandenong City really earned that goal. They were patient. They absorbed the pressure. While it might not have been the most cleanest half of football from them, they took every chance that they could. Jamie Latham into the back of the net on really a half chance, and he trusted his right boot. And that's all you need going forward, especially of the likes of Jamie Latham. He's one of those guys that you give him an inch and he'll take a mile, such as Alexander Guy as well. Really impressive, and John Anastasiadis' halftime speech is probably flipped on its head now, wondering how on earth you go from 8 corners to conceding a goal within the space of mere seconds on the eve of halftime. But Nick Tolios, he'll have a little smile going into halftime as well. Not the most perfect start, but he'll take a 1-0 lead.
Halftime at the Village. It's Heidelberg United who trail Dandenong City by a goal as we cross to halftime. We return from the halftime break. Jamie Latham, his name in the headlines following the goal he scored in the final minute of the first half. That is the state of affairs as such, with Dandenong City leading by a goal to nil. Nick Tolios took no time at all to make a change, and it's quite obvious with the change being made, James Worth, the approach the manager's gone for in this second half.
Yeah, it almost looks like a wrap it up sort of attack now, as Xander Guy making away as well for Malik Absuba, taking the big man out.
Heidelberg looking to find a quick equaliser as Dow's cross comes in. They've had many crossing opportunities. That was the narrative in the entire first half for the hosts. Earned a total of 8 corners. Fluent crossing positions, although no end product as Ashcroft. Plant. City have that edge about them when on the offense. Sesnick. Plant. So instrumental in the build-up. Delivery won't beat left lead. Ashcroft and Durate come together. First touch. Near for Absuba. Corey Swall concedes the foul, and considering the tightrope he has to walk following that yellow card he was awarded in the first half, cannot be overzealous.
Following that change from Dandenong City, looks like Will Bauer will front up as that number 9. Try to still get some attacking height as Xander Guy departs the field. So not really losing much in the height race here.
Sullivan works it for Dow. Yokokawa, flag stays down. Webster happy to usher the ball out of play. Physicality in a lot of the matchups this evening. If it's not pace, it's certainly size.
I think one of the big talking points here for Nick Tolios is really trying to counteract these crosses coming in from John Anastasiadis' men. It almost seems like a one-dimensional game from them, just trying to cross the ball in and hope for the best, where Dandenong City almost trying to now be a bit more meticulous with the way that they play, trying to get a big man up front.
Lee. O'Sullivan advancing on the overlapping run. He's isolated on the right flank. Humbert. Lesiotis. Max Humbert, when at Melbourne City's under-21 side on the VPL 1 last season, was deployed as centre-back. Believe it or not. Yokokawa, edge of the area. Goes to shoot! Brilliant save. Pierce Clark, full stretched. And with his palm, able to deny Yokokawa from outside the box.
Yokokawa being allowed a little bit of room and taking full advantage of every centimetre that he was given, and really tested Pierce Clark in it. Full stretch. He was tested and he was successful. It was a fantastic save to his left. Diving full stretch and just tipping it over the crossbar, as now Heidelberg United will take a reset into one of their more infamous set pieces now.
Corner number 9. Heidelberg crowd the keeper. Humbert goes underground with the delivery. Flicking was Yokokawa. Clark had to hammer fist away. Dow, Lesiotis barking for the ball. Humbert takes it on. And I'm sure in his mind envisioned something a lot different than that.
Dandenong City won't be really amused with the way that ball went over the bar as well. Just trying to regain as much as they can now to reset. There was a little bit of a shock to start the second half, but they've done well to not concede a foul.
Durate. Backtracking with tenacity. It was Asuba. Left lean. Dow. Looking for Fulton. Hear the cries. All the way up in the gantry from Gaku Inaba, who was collected collateral damage following the lunge of Fletcher Fulton.
As now they have a little bit of a stoppage in play. If we go back to that incredible first opening goal now from Dandenong City, whilst the stats might have not called them to be the openers and score that first goal that's now got them in the lead 1-0. It's all about protecting that lead now and trying to enhance it. And they've done really well in that substitution with Asuba coming on for Alex Guy, and trying to just go back to basics here now. Nick Tolios' men, they will try to keep their shape, but whilst keeping their shape, not staying too narrow. Because we do know that when Heidelberg time does come, as Dave Ivkovic likes to call it.
Cross comes in. Edge of the area. Opportunity for Kim. Perhaps more time than he bargained for. Real half opportunity from nothing from Dandy City. Fulton. Big slide from Latham. Off the ball, a wrestle. As Dow will go into the book, Collins playing peacemaker. Well, we mentioned there's no love lost between these two sides, and that could not be more the case. It feels as if it's been an undertone of tonight's game. An update from Churchill Reserve. St Albans hosting the Oakley Cannons, who had scored right on the cusp of half-time as well. It was a quick-fire double across the competition, something certainly in the air on this Friday night. Oakley the side with the ascendancy, 8 shots on goal, 4 on target, a lead away from home. Such a coincidence, James. At the same time, 2 different venues, same outcome. Goals being scored. Ashcroft finding confidence as the game continues. Bauer. Ricochets for Ashcroft. Abusaba. Ashcroft not happy. Vocalised his frustrations.
Quite vocal.
Hesiotis. O'Sullivan. Now left lane. Dandy City really sensing their moments in the game. That's perhaps why the passion was on full display and vocality from the veteran Ashcroft.
That's why we love this league and why the NPL to some is the centre of the universe. It's all about the passion and it's all about the pride for the badge, and you can tell that even while Harry Ashcroft has been at Dandenong City for quite a short period of time, he's playing for that badge.
And a turnover might allow for another opportunity for Dandy City. And guess who it is? Latham inside the area. Souza had to deny. Dandy City asking questions, perhaps unnerving and unrattling the hosts. Souza, what a reaction save he had to make.
Yeah, really good from Yaron Souza being required, and
danger might not be averted yet. Asuba.
Souza will claim it. Certainly a very bright few minutes from the visitors.
Really impressive the way that Dandenong City have tried to dictate play here. They've really played the game on their own terms to start the second half, and it does all start and stem from the back into the forward as Latham just glanced a little chance there that has ended up in a Heidelberg possession.
He's looking lively, Latham. A real sense of danger. It's possessed by City's number 8 as Webster goes no nonsense. It's travelling. And so's perhaps fortunate it wasn't central, considering it had some flight on the ball.
We have seen in previous weeks in different leagues around Australia that chances like that do end up in the back of the net.
Centre of the universe, the NPL Victoria. And, well, you wouldn't really have that be too much of something unimaginable. Anything can really happen. We've seen it time and time again. Senol, of course, the proud partner in season 2026. Kim for Webster, who wanted to get rid of it the moment it landed at his boots. Collins. Lesiotis. Yokokawa. Too heavy for Lesiotis. And by judging what we're seeing, it's not visible on your screen right now, but Johnny Anastasiadis has gone right towards 2 substitutions. Attacking changes they will be. Kieran Brumwell and Jay McGowan with no bibs on. It's a matter of not if but when they are to immerse themselves into the contest. Needed changes perhaps, James.
Yeah, Kieran Brumwell coming on. He'll need to do his job as the linesman there, raising the flag, and Heidelberg gain possession.
Considering how Chuck Dow and Durate have had moments, although haven't been able to be in the right place at the right time for that finished product. Perhaps the reason why Anastasiadis is looking for an attacking duo of changes, but meanwhile Durate not able to find Humbert, and Dandy City, although not having numbers back, have escaped with possession. Lesiotis.
The short break in play will allow Heidelberg United their substitutions. Kieran Bramwell coming on for Chock Dow. And then Jay McGowan coming on for Max Humbert. As both number 9 and 17 enter field for the first time today. Dow and Humbert won't be too displeased with their performance today. They've done all they can, especially Chock Dow on that wing. Really provided a lot of attacking chances here for Heidelberg, but they just haven't been able to finish them.
Lesiotis looks long towards Lee. O'Sullivan. Collins trying to thread the needle on towards Yokokawa. As for the Irishman, Carlos Sullivan replaces that of Jamal Ali, who had featured for the Burgers. They were successful as champions last year. Ventured to crosstown rivals of Preston Lions. Had to add to layer to that esteemed rivalry. Lesiotis on the edge of the area. Opted to roll it rather than dispatch it. O'Sullivan trying to chip and make something happen for Heidelberg as play still remains alive. Bramwell with his first touches. Finds McGowan. The substitutes combine. McGowan's shot deflects. Webster able to clear. Danger not averted yet. A fresh area from Yokokawa. Latham goes back to his keeper. Clark slid before getting the ball cleared. Fulton Restarts the move. So much chaos being caused by Heidelberg, which prevented Dandy City from clearing their lines adequately enough in time.
Yeah, they won't be mad about it at all. Any chance is a good chance, and they've really tried to turn things around here after conceding in such a strong start by Dandenong City in that first 5-10 minutes of the second half. Now trying to play the game on their terms. John Anastasiadis making 2 attacking changes as we saw before. He will be trying to rely on those wingers to try to play wide. We do know Corey Sewell does have the body, but he does not sometimes have the speed, and it's on rare occasions he does get beaten, but on the one chance he does, it could end in a goal towards Heidelberg.
Bramwell deployed as almost a shadow striker. Tarate still leading the line. McGowan wrestling with Sesnick. Webster's clearance, questionable. Fortunate. And counting his lucky stars, perhaps the City captain. Bats off of Bramwell and out of play to be Pierce Clark's ball. And what a save it was from the shot stopper. The number 1 reinstated as goalkeeper. Matthew Maram had a clean sheet in his first game last week. Not so much one which showcases a true display of his ability, although Pierce Clark, upon his return tonight, has looked like he hasn't missed a beat so far.
Really impressed the way that Pierce Clark has come into this team and hasn't been rusty. He's been on from the get-go, and that's what you need and you're required from a keeper. You might not be in action for the whole game, but when you are required to perform, you do, and you do it 100% intensity, and he's done that quite well.
O'Sullivan doesn't mind a venture. And, well, that's Hubbard asked too much of himself and ran out of infrastructure. So Dandy City currently just able to remain compact, pick their moments. Sure going to what Nick Tolios had envisioned upon at halftime team talk. Johnny Anastasiadis, in contrast, trying to rally his players. They're starting to grow perhaps laborious of their current situation.
As we do know, it's a long season. They played 49 games last year in all forms of football. It's a long season, a lot can happen, and you don't want to lose the change room this early. Rather than give an infamous spray, you do want to rally the troops in a game that is still winnable. They only are 1 goal down, and while the play hasn't really been in their favour so far in this half, they're giving 100% effort.
Bramwell got the cross in towards the back post. Brute physicality to escape from his marker. Although was not able to find Lee arriving. Will be a throw for Dandy City on broadcast side. Sewell throwing short. Inaba back to Sewell. There's another no-nonsense clearance, although in fact Latham will look to latch on here. Souza had the pull in the nick of time. We're all inside his box. Latham is giving full chase. Sewell heads out of play. O'Sullivan. Bramwell and Inaba go for a wrestle. Protests of handball. It would have been inadvertent, perhaps a harsh one.
Looks like came off shoulder. But fair calls to appeal for a handball. Nick Tolios, if you didn't hear on the effects mic, just trying to keep the shape of the defence. And they've done really well there. Corey Sewell holding composure to get that ball out for a throw-in just earlier. In order for them to keep that lead and not let it get into an equaliser and potentially lose this game, shape is key in that back four. We do know how pivotal and strong they are. No changes made in that defensive four for a reason, and They've done really well so far as Jack Webster now draws a foul. And Dandenong City will regain possession.
Lucas Mattia calls for the Dandy City physio to evaluate the well-being of their downed player. Webster wearing it. And his face, I believe. That's where he looks to be in the most discomfort. The man holding the ball, of course, the Japanese international, Gaku Iniba. He's had quite the night tonight.
Yeah, the boy from Osaka, Japan applied his trade at 5 different clubs across his homeland until he decided to move down under and throw all his chips into the NPL Victoria. As we know that the NPL Victoria has seen its fair share of Asian players and the flair that they bring and the different style. And as you know, Japan is such a unique league in the way it plays its football. It's fast-moving, it's fast-paced, it's really relying on counter-attacks, and there's lots of action in those games. At the ridiculous age of 23. It's quite amazing what a career this man's had at such a young age, but he's come down a side that's full of hope and full of opportunity, and for a man like himself, he'll be wanting to take all opportunities with both hands.
Lewis City had lost a few of their more esteemed players in the window. The acquisitions have been rather nifty. Over the top. On cue, Inaba with the clearance.
It's almost like he's listening to us.
Sure, he'd be enjoying what he's hearing from a Dandy City perspective, as are those supporting from the comfort of their own homes and here tonight. Latham's late first half goal, the sole difference maker. Lesiotis. Durate. Not able to find Bramwell, and Pierce Clark will look to take the sting out of the contest. In no rush to get it underway again. Clark launches it in towards City's attacking third. Lethlean heads away. On the topic of Japanese players, it would be remiss not to mention the likes of Yuki Uchida for South Melbourne, who lit up the championship. Of course, last season in the NPL Victoria Women's scope, the likes of Ashka Miyata. So technical. Such an element they provide in the competition. For Heidelberg, of course, Asai Yokokawa. Such a joy to watch. Collins. Heidelberg under immediate pressure, and Ashcroft might have half an opportunity. Ashcroft deflecting ball! And it's a second for Dandy City. That's one way to acquaint yourself at your new club. On his debut, the former Hume City captain encourages his new Dandy City teammates into a 2-goal lead.
Welcome to the party. That's all we have to say. Dandenong City 2 to the good against Heidelberg United. What a great finish it was. Left Yaron Souza at a standstill. May have taken a deflection. But what a build-up. It came from absolutely nothing as well. As we've seen a few chances here for Dandenong. Almost kept Heidelberg flat-footed at times, and they've taken full advantage of that. Nick Tolios will be smiling from ear to ear from that one.
The pressure from Dandy City.
It was imminent that they were going to make something happen. They timed their moment to perfection. And the champions are up against the ropes here. Lesiotis. City players flooding back. Lee inside the area. Inaba heads away. It's a double-digit amount of corners for the Burgers. And you feel as if the game matures. Dandy City are going to completely hold on and not try and force anything as Heidelberg force a quick fire response. Captain Courageous Ben Collins ensures that the Burgers are still here to play. And upon the 10th time of asking from the corner spot, the Burgers break their deadlock.
Ben Collins with a reply here for Heidelberg United. Corner was taken short. There's a glancing header to the back post, and it was Kieran Bramall onto Ben Collins, and gee whiz, wasn't that a finish. It was a classic no-looker. Everyone was just almost watching the ball rather than acting upon it. And Heidelberg now shorten the lead back up. It's 2-1 here at Olympic Village.
Considering how deep Dandy City had sat off the ball following their second goal, which they'd scored, they invited all the pressure, and Heidelberg were so quick to find a response. Has to be some type of record. I'm sure Nick Tolios will now consider what he can do from his bench in providing his side with fresher players. Latham looking for space. Brilliant bit of play yet again from Brad Plant. It's popped up in so many moments tonight. Lowe hasn't had much of the ball. James has definitely been dangerous with it. Yanni Milidis puts his sign up. And duo of changes will occur for the side in front. George Lamberides and Matthew Giofku replace goal scorer Harry Ashcroft. The second of changes, I believe to be that of Danny Kim. Theodoropoulos for Heidelberg replaces Asai Yakakawa, so both benches being active. You feel as if we're on the cusp of a real barnstorm finish at Olympic Village.
You wonder whether Johnny A is acting upon impulse to make those changes, seeing Nick Tolios make two, that he needs the quick reply to make two and asking two to get on. It's one that'll really mature as the game goes on, whether it was the right call. Harry Ashcroft departing for a great opening goal as a Dandenong City player.
Not the worst way to make your debut.
I think you'll sleep well tonight.
Would be even better, of course, if City were to hold on to the 3 points, which are currently theirs. Webster's clearance. McGowan, it's a pedestrian back passing header, which allowed for City to apply some pressure. Plant was the last man. Ball ricocheted towards Latham. Theodoropoulos finds Lesiotis. Measured ball. Lee. Onto his preferred lefts. Crosses towards McGowan. Sesnick with the clearing header. Heidelberg with a deep throw-in. Taking no time at all. Theodoropoulos. McGowan. Accelerates away. Enters inside the box. Not enough contact for Lucas Mattia to point to the spot.
It's always an interesting little thing to watch, whether John Anastasiadis is emotional on the bench after a challenge, and he's quite emotionless for that. Very fair challenge, and Dandenong City now will look to just calm things down. We saw how quickly momentum changed. We saw them conceders. The visitors who now lead will make a change at the next out, you would think. Jackson Leno with the fourth official at the moment. Now a substitution is made for Dandenong City with Brad Plant departing. Jackson Leno coming onto the field. 75 minutes just gone on the clock, so 15 minutes remaining here at Olympic Village. There's nothing like a Friday night down here at Heidelberg. You're a stone's throw away from the epicenter of so many communities here in the inner northwest, or the inner north, should I say. As Leno opens his account with a touch.
Quite the versatile player, of course. And of Jackson Leno, deployed as a centre-back, left-back or left winger. Former of Melbourne Victory's under-21s setup before joining Dandy City in 2022. Webster. Sesnick. Central. Lambaridis. Inaba for Swall. Nonchalant. His pass towards Latham. Fulton positions himself adequately enough to try escape. Pressed firmly by those in blue and red. Collins trying to take charge. Latham. City were a pass away from another goal scoring opportunity. Durate coming deep. Lee. Lesiotis. McGowan up against Sesnick. The pressure mounts as time continues to tick away. Now 3 points would be sweet for City. A revenge story it could pose, and would of course mean the end of Heidelberg's undefeated start to the season. Leno's touch goes central. Trying to rampage through the centre on his own. It was Abu Saba. Meanwhile, McGowan has an opportunity. Big slide. Inaba had to be composed. Left lean. Lesiotis. Fulton. Durate inside the area. McGowan. His touch will find that of Piers Clark.
Looks like Johnny A will be making a change in the immediate future as he looks to try get a goal back after scrounging at a goal that came from absolutely nothing.
Clark's distribution has been fluent in these last two passages. Poising for Leno. Swall. Latham. He feels as if this would be the approach from Dandy City to take minutes off the clock and ensure of no funny business.
Absorbing the pressure is key for Dandy City here. They really just don't want to do anything silly. Don't give away the ball. I think the one thing that really undid them in the first half was just how frivolous they were with the ball, and there was no composure. There was really no maturity about the way they were playing, and they took one chance and they got one goal. But I really think you've got to build upon that. As soon as you find an inch, you've got to take everything with it. And Dandy City just really need to try to wrap things up. As John Anastasiadis may look to Angus Taylor.
Your prediction was 3-1 in favour of the Burgers.
It was.
If City are to find another to wrap things up, would be the correct scoreline, but not the correct side.
I'll still take it. As Heidelberg look to make two changes. Once medical attention is received And these two changes will be made now as Anthony Lesiotis will depart the field. And Joseph Lee. So it's Ethan Sardellis. And Angus Taylor coming onto the park with 10 minutes remaining.
Substitution for Heidelberg United, number 6, Anthony Lesiotis, and number 19, Joseph Lee, being replaced by number 11, Angus Taylor, and number 21, Ethan Sardellis.
You do wonder, Adam, where things go now for Heidelberg, whether they go all in, throw all the chips in and throw their hat in the ring to try get something out of this game.
Clark going long. The afterburner's there with power, though he was offside. Here's Clark trying to turn playmaker in his own right for Heidelberg. Though James, it's quite honest in the way they're trying to approach this game. They've gone more attacking options, trying to mix things up. McGowan's now on broadcast wing. Angus Taylor shifting towards the left. Durante and Bramwell trying to combine. Fulton getting further up the pitch. You know, stretch of the imagination that Heidelberg will go for an equaliser.
Almost playing in a 4-2-4 formation.
Nervous. 9 odd minutes left for both sides. Gafku with a nice touch. Inova. Clark wants it gone. There's no urgency yet from Heidelberg, but you'd expect it to really amp up as we enter out of red zone time. Durate. Latham read it best in terms of the best on park tonight. James Worth, who have you got your money on?
If we're being completely transparent here, you've got to give it to Harry Ashcroft. He was so good on the park, rewarded with a goal. He embraced that matchup against Lesiotis, and when he was asked to man up against that number 6 from Heidelberg, he didn't shy away from it. And for a first appearance in Dandenong City colours, which we were wondering when was going to come, all to our disbelief that it was actually today when the starting lineups came out. Is that a fantastic first run?
As Sullivan draws a corner. The Tandy City technical area barking towards their players for no quick corner to be taken. O'Sullivan will deliver. Plentiful options in yellow inside the area. O'Sullivan's delivery. Arriving was Collins. Falls to Fulton. Tees it up towards the back posts. Clark had vision only for the ball. Precious seconds being shaved off the clock. And what a way it would be for City to start their season. Over the top, Souza snuffs out the danger. As Suba had the afterburners on. Souza lofting it. Webster uncontested, heads towards the engine room. Taylor determined. Wanted to go through the middle. Lino had a fair chunk of
the man from Tasmania's shirt. Heidelberg will look to try a set-piece routine. You can hear the Burgers fans again start to get up and about.
Some would call that a professional foul. Stop the play, halt all the momentum that Heidelberg were building. Because it did look like the trajectory was quite dangerous. Because the pressure they've been mounting is a shot now. Oh. Tested Pierce Clark. Just flashed his foot at it. But in the safe hands of the Dandenong City number 1.
There's Lethlean of all people trying to buy something. Can nowhere. City holding their shape deep. Kiofku trying to go through the traffic. Taylor wheeling to try get to Sesnick's pass. Which goes back towards Clark. Lethlean with the shield out of play. Theodoropoulos. Collins. Back to Souza. O'Sullivan. The Dante City technical area are up on their feet. They know how important the next few minutes are. Inabar heads away, not as far as McGowan. Wants to send it lateral. Taylor controls. Overlapping was Fulton. Great read centrally from Absuba, and Latham's onside. The flag stays down. 2 against 3 for Dante City. Options queuing up. Collins able to head away, but there were runners inside that area for the side leading by 2-1.
Really dangerous there from Dandenong City as tempers flare here, looking for a foul in favour of Dandenong City. But yeah, they've been fantastic, really trying to apply the pressure, putting Heidelberg on the back foot as much as they can. It almost feels like they've taken 2 steps back rather than 1 step forward in this second half after netting that goal that provided so much hope. And while the scoreline is 2-1, the pressure does feel like it's on Heidelberg defensively rather than offensively.
Terrace experiencing cramp.
Score check in the other game that's going on in the NPL Victoria, St Albans and Oakley Cannons. It is into extra time, added time here. Oakley Cannons 3-1 to the better against St Albans. Goals coming in the 61st and 88th minute. So Oakley looking to wrap that one up down at Churchill Reserve. After what was a fantastic home opener last week. They showed off their new stand in front of some very warm and inviting Preston Lions fans. What a great spectacle it was.
Fulton in front of the official. And Johnny Anastasiadis is basically on the pitch trying to get his message across. It's a rare sight to see him scream so loud. I'm sure if those watching from Oakley perhaps heard him, not on the ambience microphone. Jack Perrick Cullen. Perhaps a late bloomer in this one as O'Sullivan clips it in. Collins the target. Taylor, edge of the area, got his shot away. Another corner. The fullback Cullen looking to come on. An obvious defensive change. Will Bauer will take his time to jostle off. In fact, it might happen after the corner. In fact, Bauer will stay on. No, he won't. On comes Peric Cullen.
Substitution for Dandenong City.
His first duty, an important one, to defend a corner.
Being replaced by number 3.
Goes right to the back post. At last, the corner comes in. Very narrow ball. Durante met it. Glanced across the face of goal. 5 added minutes for the champions to find a response and for City to find their first win of the season.
5 minutes is a long time in football, Adam. A lot can play out in the next 5 minutes. Heidelberg will look to get anything they can as
a counter-attack could be on the cards. Peric Cullen has been deployed up top. Precious Souza. His counterpart number, Ben Collins. Has to go. The captain knows it to be the case. Measured ball for McGowan. Crosses in with shape. Clark wasn't sure. Taylor recycles. O'Sullivan. Whipped in with shape towards Bramwell.
Feels like that change there with Jack Peric Cullen is all for the set pieces. They have injected a bit of height into this team. While tactically it might not make sense from a formation point of view, getting a bigger body in there.
O'Sullivan's cross with shape. Durante not pleased about the call. Lucas Mattia, the official, sends the Mariner on loan at Heidelberg into the book. 12-1 corners. What a stat that reads.
If you read that and didn't watch the game, you would think, what on earth is going on here? And to be quite honest, it's almost the same as if you're looking at it in person here at the Village. But tonight has been a story of take your chances and you're going to be up. Heidelberg, 12 chances from set pieces, from corners, and have not been able to net one. Actually, have been able to net one. Unfortunately, that was taken short as well. A slow build-up play, which ended up in a goal.
And City aren't far away now. Sheer jubilation. Revenge. They're not far away from winning against the side that denied them of their first National Premier League title. Yet another corner. Will the Village provide late drama? Who will stand tall for City? Who will rise for Heidelberg? Tense moments in this match's complexion. Anastasiadis urging all his players to enter the box. O'Sullivan's high ball in. Durante flicking. Lethlin tried the bicycle. Collins was lurking as Bramwell struck it into a sea of bodies. Lino will settle for a Heidelberg throw-in. Yaron Souza wants the ball at his feet. The keeper will get it. Launches it long. Looking for his captain. Heading away was Corey Swall. Fulton keeps his feet, gets around Lino. Cross comes in towards the back post. Durante hits the roof of the net, and Dandy City evade the threat for now.
That does feel like the last chance could have been had there for Heidelberg. Maybe crossing in now to the final minute of play. And Pierce Clark will absorb every second that he can to try get these Dandenong City boys over the line in a replay that means a lot more than you can think. Losing that grand final from a run that started from 6th. And they've turned it around now from one draw and one loss that they do not want to think about for the rest of the season into something that can provide so much joy and hope for the greater community of Dandenong City. team that's built on passion and a lot of energy out of Frank Houlihan, one of the nicer grounds in the NPL Victoria, as the throw-in has been called back.
Never entered the field of play from Swool, who tries luck again. We're deep into this one now. Fulton had to go long. Lucas Mattia to look towards his watch. Taylor not around Cessnick. Could City see out the game? They have possession. The Dandy City bench want full time. And they'll get it. Dandenong City have come to the home of the champions of 2025 and served a dish of revenge with a 2-1 win, ending Heidelberg's undefeated start to the 2026 Senol NPL Victoria campaign and igniting theirs with their first. Nick Tolios, the architect of what was an inspired performance from City. They had a lot to do. The likes of Latham and debutant Ashcroft with all the headlines. What performances from two individuals. And ultimately, City peg one back against the Burgers.
Some would say that revenge is a dish best served cold, and Dandenong City will be taking that analogy with full flight. They've come to the champions and they've taken the 3 points, and they'll take it back down the Monash. Back to Frank Houlihan, and they will be absolutely wrapped with that performance. It goes against everything that they basically played against in the last 2 weeks. They came up and they showed true aggression and passion for the game. Even a goal down as well. It could have resulted in an equaliser at 2-2. They didn't drop their heads. They kept composed. And they battled out a gritty win. And Nick Tolios and his coaching staff will be delighted with that performance.
Considering how quickly they had conceded following scoring their second goal, courtesy of Ashcroft, there was signs that Heidelberg were not out of the contest at all. They were certainly in it throughout, but the resolve of the visitors proved to be too strong. Thus wrapping up your coverage of the Senol NPL Victoria men's competition this Friday night. It's the champions Heidelberg who bow out to Dandy City with the full-time score at Olympic Village. Heidelberg United 1, Dandenong City Soccer Club 2. James Worth and Adam Palombi signing off. We appreciate you joining us this evening. And until tomorrow, catch all your NPL men's and women's competitions live and free on the NPL Victoria YouTube app. Thank you and enjoy the weekend of football.